It depends. Tap water, which is EPA regulated, undergoes testing for E. coli and is required to provide its source and produce quality reports. But bottled water, on the other hand...
Produce quality, probably.
No, produce quality reports.
Produce quality?
They need to produce quality reports.
Oh, they produce quality reports.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bottled water, on the other hand, doesn't have to meet any of those standards to be distributed. Additionally, the Food and Drug Administration regulates bottled water, and its standards pale in comparison to the EPA's for tap. A few examples of this include less frequent bacteria testing, no mandatory reports of violations to federal officials, and no filtration or disinfection requirements on the federal level, while many states have no meaningful programs of their own.
So you could be drinking anything?
You could be drinking anything, yeah.
Whoa.
There's no regulation for this shit. In scientific testing, bottled water was found to be no safer than tap water. In fact, in most recent tests by the NRDC, they tested 103 bottles of water off the shelves, right? Mm-hmm. Nearly 1 in 5 tested waters contained in at least one sample more bacteria than allowed under microbiological purity guidelines.
For what? Guidelines for what? Regular tap water? Or just in general?
Yeah, for tap water.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
4% violated the generally weak federal bottled water standards, 2 for excessive fluoride and 2 for excessive coliform bacteria.
What labels, what brands were these that did this? So I
it says
not drink them.
It says in the study. I'll link to it on the website. It's it's an NRDC study.
Damn it, I'm never going to read that. I'll just keep drinking poison.
In 8 cases, arsenic was found in at least one test at a level of potential health concern. Eight of these bottles, that's almost 8% of the water they tested had arsenic at dangerous levels.
That's why you can't be drinking water. You got to drink beer, whiskey, something like that, so you know the pathogens have been killed by the fermenting. There's a lot of guidelines for beer and liquor. Nothing, apparently, for water. Fish have sex in it. That's what you know when you're drinking. It's full of arsenic. It's full of E. coli. It's full of poop, basically.
Yeah.
You ever drank a beer that's full of poop? Of course not, because there's guidelines and requirements.
People drink more bottled water than beer and milk combined in the United States.
Wow. So, okay, does the Arrowhead 5-gallon thing count in all this? Do we know that?
Yeah, they're looking at all these bottled water sources.
Well, because I drink that.
Why?
I don't trust the water that comes out of the tap.
See, there's the problem, because here's the thing.
Well, because after the earthquake, water was fucked. Like, everybody in L.A., after the earthquake, when the water came out brown,
right,
everybody switched to Arrowhead. And since then, I don't think anyone switched back. Like, I certainly haven't.
Well, the problem is that bottled water, again, is not regulated. So you're getting a source, first of all, that is tap water, essentially. And whether or not it's clear doesn't make any difference.
It's gross, though.
Well, it's up to the various manufacturers to determine what kind of quality standards they have, right? I mean, so it runs the gamut. I know I don't necessarily trust those ones in 7-Eleven that are like 7-Eleven brand water. Yeah. Like, who knows? That probably really is the hose.
It's all the same. It's all coming from the same source, more or less. I mean, Fiji water is an exception because that comes from Fiji, I guess. But in taste,
does it?
Yeah,
because that's the one my sister likes. I'm always like, why the hell are you always picking Fiji? Is it because the bottle's square?
Yeah.
No, packaging is important. I mean, to the eye.
Sure.
Some of the bottles of booze are beautiful.
It's true.
It tastes good, but in taste tests, tap water consistently ranks at or above the level of bottled water. So people in just blind taste tests choose tap water more than bottled water, because that's a commonly cited thing that people say, well, I drink bottled water because I like the taste. It tastes fresher. It tastes clear. It's not. It's a cognitive bias that you have. You think you're getting a better product because you're paying for it, as opposed to tap water, which is readily available and subsidized by the city in our tax money.
Yeah, man, I don't. So, okay, this is all I know. When I have my 5-gallon Arrowhead, right, and I put it on they come every month. I put it on the thing. I got nice cold water in a spigot. I got nice hot water in a spigot, right? Very easy. If I run out early and I have to refill that thing with some tap water, it has, and take the bottle off and just put some tap water, put a pitcher in a tap water in it to tide me over. It has a gross smell and a gross taste to it. I don't think I'm imagining that.
You might be, Dick. You might be projecting. Because this is, again, the guy who thinks that paying more for steak gets you better steak. Paying more for wine gets you better wine.
You're killing your argument with that, because more expensive steak in general in the long run is going to be like a $30 steak in the long run. A $50 steak is going to be better than a $15.99 steak.
There's no guarantee about that. It just depends.
Again, I've just said in the long run, if you're picking up a steak at Ruth's Chris, it's gonna be way better than a steak you picked up at Outback.
I realize you think that, but that's not necessarily true.
I'm just telling you that you're killing your argument with that.
No,
because
I'm not.
A lot of people agree with that.
Study after study after study keep coming out. Remember the wine debate we had on the show way back in the day? And I said that wine testers couldn't even tell the difference between white and red wine. They couldn't tell the difference between house wine, table wine versus a really high-end bottle. They couldn't even tell the difference between. They drank the same exact sample of red wine, and they couldn't tell the difference between the two. They were told that one was a high-end label and one was a low-end label. They chose the high-end label better tasting than the exact same wine they drank seconds ago.
Yeah, was this like real taste testers?
Yes.
Or is it people who said they're really into wine?
No, these are like the professional taste testers. In fact, on a study, they got the world's best taste testers, and during a study at some of these wine festivals and wine fairs, they found that the world famous taste testers, who are reputed in the industry, and their opinions count. Right, This is how they price wine, is based on their opinions. Their ability to determine a high quality wine, allegedly. A high-quality wine was 50%. It's essentially a coin toss.
I think you're conflating a lot of things with your what's better and what's not better and money and this or that. Certainly, different water from different sources is going to have a taste to it. It's got different mineral components.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what...
Doesn't mean it's harmful.
That's the main ingredient of beer, is the water. You're not going to pick two different water supplies and have the exact same tasting beer, because you start out with a widely different spectrum of minerals. So even if I'm saying it's gross to me, it's still gross to me. I'll drink tap water, but I don't like it when it comes out cold. It's got a goofy smell to it. Maybe I'm used to the smell of the Arrowhead. I don't fucking know. But that's why I don't drink it. And then every time somebody proposes a better solution, like use a Brita pitcher or use some goofy knob on your thing or use some kind of filtration device, it always makes it more complicated and slow. I'm sitting there for 5 minutes filling up a glass of water, like, I don't have time to replace this filter. I don't know, it just works. Deliver me the bottled water and I'll drink it.
But Dick, you're ignoring what I said. In taste tests, tap water consistently ranks at or above the level of bottled water. These are in blind taste tests.
Again, you're trying to say that it's better than the other. I'm just saying it's different, which the study shows.
No, it's not.
So they're the same?
I just mentioned this, Dick. I literally just said that the water source for bottled water is exactly the same as tap water.
And it's just put in a different bottle?
That's all it is. That's all it is. And sometimes the bottled water may taste a little bit different because also the bottled water gets shipped across country sometimes, or it gets shipped and it sits in the back of a hot truck, and then that plastic bleeds some of it into the bottled water.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Give me that plastic taste.
Do you
That's
think
good.
all manufacturers use tap water?
Not all of
what
them.
they're saying?
No,
Okay,
not all
right.
of them, Sean.
Just wanted to check.
But yeah, the tests that they put bottled water through is much less stringent than tap water. Tap water is much more highly regulated. And as we saw here, that you have bottled waters with samples of arsenic above a healthy level.
Yeah, where the fuck are those?
Yeah, I don't know,
Sounds
man.
like a big problem.
Well, it is. It is a big problem. And I hate to argue this environmental argument, but of the 30 billion plastic water bottles sold in the United States in 2005, only 12% were recycled. There are over 25 billion bottles in our landfills right now. Yeah. 25 billion of them. And the recycled bottle plastic can only be used for non-food products. So, people say, well, I recycle. But when it comes to plastic bottles, there's not much you can do when you do recycle it.
Did you know there's a big piss jug epidemic? Speaking of bottled things that are hurting the environment.
A piss jug?
Yeah, people pissing in truckers pissing in bottles, these same bottles, and recycling, tossing them out.
They're trying to toss them out the window like hand grenades of piss.
The bottles are horrible too, because the eco-friendly bottles, I brought this in one of our Lost episodes. I don't remember which one it was. When they made the bottles super thin to try to cut down on plastics, now when you open them, they shoot all over your hands.
Right.
Like an excited teenager.
Right.
It sucks. On prom night.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'm not holding a lot of excited teenagers in my hands.
What'd you call that 17-year-old up? What was her name?
Amy. Yeah, Dick. So the bottled water, again, it's the same exact source as tap water. There's much less regulation for it. It doesn't taste better. When you pay for something, you have a certain amount of expectation of quality for it. And they've done these studies again and again and again. And they found that when people pay more for a product, actually, they do enjoy it more.
Sure.
So there is that, but it's entirely, you're just fooling yourself. You're deluding yourself into thinking that you're buying a much higher quality product than you actually are. They did this test a while back at a grocery store where they got the exact same coffee, same exact brand of coffee, ground it up, put one in a bag that said it was ecologically sound. It came from fair trade. It was organic. It was natural. Massaged from the teats of Mother Earth. And the other one they said is the store brand. And so people who tasted it after reading this narrative about the fair trade, organic, holistic, whatever fucking bullshit adjectives they used, they consistently said that tasted better than the store-bought brand when they were told that story.
Sure.
But during a regular taste test, then they actually did a comparison between like the organic brand and the store-bought brand, and they found that the store-bought brand, when they were not told which one was which, they preferred the store-bought brand.
Yeah.
The one that was suited for mass consumption.
Sure. I'm going to expand that narrative because
Yeah.
I think it applies to everything. I think. Let me ask you this: if there was like a video game that was made by indie developers, would you enjoy? Do you think you might enjoy it more than one that was made by like a behemoth like Sony? Like if you had the same game and you were given some narrative about how this game came to be. You can easily say no, but I'm asking because you've played a lot of video games.
Yeah.
If you give a little more credit, the same thing goes for like video content that comes in the same way. Like any kind of consumable media. Do you think that you also apply that? Maybe that you have a blind spot for this kind of whatever you called it when it comes to consumable media?
No, Dick. I get what you're saying. No, of course not. Of course not.
Of course
it
not.
depends on the game. It depends on the game. And I get what you're trying to say. I get the argument, but that's not a good example because when it comes to independent video games,
it's a good example.
No.
It's just because you don't see it.
I'll tell you why it's not a good example. When it comes to video games, when I'm playing a game that's made by an indie developer, if it looks comparable to a big studio release, I'm going to be impressed more, but I'm not going to necessarily think it's a better game. I play big studio games all the time that are great, and I play indie games all the time that are great. And if one is made with more of a shoestring budget, it's a little bit more impressive, but that doesn't really affect the end
No,
result.
but we're talking the same game, right?
Yeah. Like, what if they slapped that stupid story onto every game? I think it would help them. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, bottled water is a big problem. You can't tell the difference in taste. It's not safer for you. It's not better for you. It's a big waste of money, which you should save.
Well, yeah, speaking of narratives to sell things, today's show is brought to you by Harry's. Please visit harrys.com and use the promo code Biggest Problem to save $5 off your first purchase. Guys, is there any better razor than a Harry's razor? That's what I'm really asking. I love them. I enjoy shaving now. When I used the competitor, I remember shaving with one of the competing blades, and it was a chore. Shaving was a chore. Now I actually enjoy it, man. I get in there, I get those hairs out, like clack, 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 clack. They're like little enemy armies that I chop down with nothing, like my big scythe, like Paul Bunyan.
I imagine they're like crickets on my face. I'm just shaving them right the fuck off.
German engineered blades, 5-blade cartridges, a close, comfortable shave with no cuts or burns. Quality guaranteed. It's a full refund if you're not happy. And it's already not very much money because you can save $5 off your first purchase. Why pay $32 for an 8-pack of blades when you can get them for half the price? For $15, you can get a razor, moisturizing shave cream, and 3 razor blades.
That's a really good deal, man.
Yeah, Fan Coy said he was going to email us about Harry's. I finally bought a starter kit. Best shave ever, he says.
Yeah.
I wound up buying the men in my family and my 2 next-door neighbors engraved Winston sets. How about that? What a fancy pants. Thanks, Coy.
That's cool. Thank you, Coy. Thanks for supporting us, and thanks for tweeting this at us and at Harry's. We really appreciate that. I get a lot of tweets from fans and listeners who get their Harry's kit, and they open it up, and it's a real presentation. It's not just like, they're not just sending you a little plastic nylon baggie of just like loose parts in there. It's a kit. It looks really nice.
I like it. I don't like scrimping on the packaging.
No, it's
classy. Double it up.
Yeah.
2 boxes, not enough. I want a box inside of a box.
Yeah.
Maybe with a riddle on where to find the actual package where there's a multitude of additional boxes. What?
No, I've said this before, and like I've never been an aftershave guy, but their stuff is really good.
Oh, that's great.
I enjoy it so much better after you shave. It smells good, soothes the skin.
Soothes the skin, soothes the soul, and it's easy on your wallet. Thank you, Harry's, and thank you to our listeners for supporting us.
Okay, here's my next problem. Sleep deprivation.
Sleep deprivation. Okay, I'm on board with this. Why?
Why?
Yeah, why is it a problem?
Well, because you always have to hear about it from people, and it's very annoying.
Okay. Of course, it's the annoying angle. You're both your problems today, minor annoyances.
Because that's what it takes to get on the top 10 list
No.
here. Slacktivism, annoying. Outrage porn, annoying. It's all annoyances.
Anti-vaxxers is number one for good reason.
But it's annoying.
Female genital... No, anti-vaxxers kill people.
Hunger kills people and in a horrible way. Anti-vaxxers is just something that everyone can shit on.
Okay, hunger isn't killing millions of people, and hunger doesn't have the
Yes, it
potential.
is.
No, and hunger doesn't have the potential to wipe out all of humanity like anti-vaxxers do. And female genital
You should see
mutilation.
Interstellar then, because that's what that movie's all about.
Hunger is a problem that can be addressed with a sandwich. Female genital mutilation is a problem that you live with for the rest of your life. Those are problems that are in the top 10. Okay.
Maddox just solved world hunger.
Yeah, we just need a sandwich.
Give them a sandwich.
We just need to equip these drones with sandwiches and
Yes.
send them all around.
Sandwich
Instead of
drones.
Kickstart that.
Instead of iPads or whatever shit was in it.
$100 laptops.
Right,
That's
right.
what they get. Laptops with go-go gadget cranks on them.
Well, you know what they're equipping on the drones now? They're equipping machine guns that spray pepper spray pellets at people.
oh.
Like,
That's cool.
like some absurd amount, like 1,600 rounds per minute. Anyway, vote up drones. What's your problem, Dick?
Oh, yeah, you don't like drones. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation.
Sleep deprivation.
It affects 35% of 35% of Americans are not getting enough sleep. 10% report like 35 days in a row of not getting enough sleep. I brought in some stats. I'll go through these quickly. It's deadly, sleep deprivation.
Yeah, I believe it.
Here, it was a factor in the following disasters. The nuclear accident at 3 Mile Island, the Exxon Valdez, and the meltdown at Chernobyl. Those are pretty big fuck-ups.
Yeah.
How are you going to have an Oculus Rift society where everyone's plugged into the Matrix, but you got some guy who's running on 3 hours of sleep running the fusion reactor at the center? Because that's the future. You just consolidate human jobs into one guy, right? That's
Yeah.
industrialization. You got 100 guys in a factory. No, let's make it 5. Let's make it 1. Now we got 100 factories. Let's let one guy run 100 factories. That motherfucker better be getting his sleep in.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that. And it's also the reason Tracy Morgan got in his big accident. Tracy Morgan is the actor from 30 Rock, and he got hit by a car on the freeway because there was a Walmart truck driver who was driving drowsy and was too tired to be driving, and he hit his motorcade. And Tracy Morgan got nearly paralyzed. He's still having trouble recovering from that.
Yeah, well, big brain damage too.
Yeah.
Wow,
took him a long time to
1,500
come-
crash-related deaths a year is because of sleep deprivation.
Crash-related
100,000 crashes,
Yeah.
1,500 crash-related deaths.
Crash-related death.
So it's like a fifth of drunk driving deaths every year. 10,000 sleep driving deaths are 1,500.
Yeah, I believe it, man.
I brought a stat on falling asleep while driving. If you're interested in that,
Yeah, please. This is really scary. It's something I used to have a problem with, and I don't fuck around with that anymore.
falling
Like,
asleep while driving.
Oh yeah, because I get drowsy when I drive, and now to the point where I don't care who's with me or what I'm doing. If I feel like I'm nodding off, I will pull over and sleep on the side of the road. I'll do whatever it takes to get off that road safely because I'm not going to fuck around with that. That's really scary shit.
Yeah, you got to be careful though. Your car could get mugged, or your car could get robbed while you're sleeping on the side of the road.
Yeah, I lock
they say.
I lock the doors, and I also have a Jason mask in my car, so I put that.
I knew it.
I put
knew
that on
it.
next
That's
week.
so satisfying to get your weird life hacks out.
Yeah.
Here is the. Here, you don't have a fake car that you park in front of you, like a cardboard car that you park in front of yours. Here's the stats. It's basically, you can see them, but it floats around 5% of people who report falling asleep while driving in the past 1 month.
Wow.
5% of people. Old people surprisingly came in at 2%, but everybody else is way up there. 25 to 35, 7%, 35.
For falling asleep while driving, old people only 2%.
Yeah.
Well, I understand that because they drive less. If they
that's probably true.
Yeah, if they controlled for the amount of hours that people drive on the road, I would imagine truck drivers are amongst the top because they're overworked a lot of times. Truck drivers, which a lot of them may be listening to the show right now. When you're on the road, you listen to a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, truck drivers. Give us a honk, huh?
Yeah. It makes you dumb. Sleep plays a critical role in thinking and learning, obviously, blah, blah, blah. So if you don't get enough sleep, you're not going to be able to remember what you did the night. It impairs alertness, concentration, reasoning, and problem solving. And that's your biggest solution is critical thinking.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is like the anti-critical thinking. Sleep deprivation. You can't think critically when you haven't had any sleep.
It does cloud my mind a little bit. Dick, why didn't you bring this fucking problem in on a Casper day?
That's shilling. I'm not gonna do.
Okay.
I don't shill.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh, no,
I
never
read
dick.
the ad. I'm not gonna do a whole episode based on your product. Get the hell out of here. Not at these rates.
Hey, so can I tell you? Can I tell
At
you?
a zero. You guys want a whole episode? I'll do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do an entire
It's gonna
sponsored
cost
episode.
you. It's gonna cost you. Razor burn. That'll be my problem.
Yeah.
Too expensive of razors.
Yeah, and shaving cream that just doesn't wash off. We'll make that an entire episode. But here's the thing. So a long time ago, when I would drive in between my old job and home, it was like a 20, 30-minute commute. And
What job was that?
That was at the... You know what job it was, dickhead. Telemarketing company. Okay, great. It's really shitty. Telemarketing company? I worked for one for 9.5 years. You know what, dickhead?
Somebody said that in.
Yeah, a real fucking funny, asshole. What job do you work at? Let's talk about your job.
I'm a gigolo.
Yeah, okay.
Only for hot chicks, though. Not for men, like most gigolos.
Well, I've only had 2 jobs in my life. So it's one of the 2 of them, dickhead.
Okay.
So
Telemarketer and professional asshole.
Yeah, that's true.
that's my 3rd job, and it's on my career. That's my career, buddy. Anyway, so I was driving back and forth from work, and it would be a lot of times really late at night or early in the morning, like 3, 4 in the morning, because I worked really late. And I would sometimes fall asleep. I'd be really drowsy, and I'd start to nod off at the wheel. It's super scary because
Can you believe that you don't immediately wreck? Like every time I've fallen asleep at the wheel, I'm like, how the fuck did I like I have no idea when I fell asleep. How did I not crash? But everybody's doing it. 5% of people are doing it every month.
I have a cousin who woke up to his car skidding on its roof.
that's too late to wake up.
Just go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep. You know what? You already fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well take a nap. Yeah. Wait till the paramedics arrive. So I was driving home one night, and in Utah, it's especially dangerous to fall asleep while driving because there are deers on the road. There's deers
The
on the road.
Mormons will come give you anal.
Yeah.
Sean, you ass farmer, you know Utah. But yeah, there are deers on the road, and I fell asleep one time. I started to nod off, and I saw a deer. So I thought, man, that could have like ended my life if I hit that deer. It's really, you don't want to hit a deer on the road. Like people think, oh, you hit an animal, it's roadkill, no big deal. You hit a cat or a raccoon or a little animal, it's not a big deal. You hit a deer, and it's like running into a tree. Like it's like a 200-pound animal that you're hitting that can come through your windshield at you. So hitting a deer is no small thing.
Even if it's a doe. A deer.
Yeah, a female deer. Yeah. I know, Dick. The song, fuck. Anyway, so I tried to solve this problem, and I tried everything behind the wheels. I tried rolling down my window because in Utah it's really cold in the winter. Doesn't help.
Doesn't work.
I tried turning on my air conditioner. Doesn't work. I tried turning up the radio. Doesn't work. And then I tried even eating crunchy food like corn nuts when I was driving because I thought, oh, the crunch would keep me awake. That didn't work. So eventually what did work, I thought about it. I thought long and hard about the only time I've never been asleep or fallen asleep is when my mouth is on fire. And that's why I decided to start carrying around a little bottle of Tabasco with me, and I would take a chug of it. Every time I felt like I was nodding off, I would take a little chug of that Tabasco. Now, 2 things work in your favor. First, there's vinegar in Tabasco, which perks you right the fuck up because it's very sour. And the second one is the spice. So you get home, your mouth is on fire, your throat is burning, your nose is running, your eyes are watery, but you get home alive.
Yeah.
And that was my solution. And that's why I started carrying around hot sauce with me everywhere I went. And that's why I started drinking it. And that's why even to this day, when fans come to book signings and things, they call me out on it. They're like, hey, Maddox, you don't really drink Tabasco. I brought some Tabasco for you. And I just, before they even finish the fucking dumbass sentence, I pop it open and chuck that fucker down. That's the only downside to drinking hot sauce is you will grow a tolerance to it.
Oh.
And then you have to shave more. But
Does that actually work, that hot sauce
Absolutely.
thing? Like, I don't want to be giving advice to people that's going to make them wreck their cars while they're sleeping.
No, it absolutely does work, but only to a limit. You will grow a tolerance to it, and then you have to move on to spicier hot sauce, which is difficult to find in gas stations. Most gas stations only carry 2 or 3 brands of hot sauce: Tabasco, Tapatio, and Cholula. And all of them are rated about the same Scoville units, except for Cholula. Cholula is like way lower. Tabasco is about 14,000 Scoville units. But beyond that, you have to carry your own hot sauce. And if you leave it in your car for too long, it goes bad. So that's the difficulty of hot sauce. You have to find a good sauce. Where could you find a good sauce?
You ever had Tabasco
Harry's?
turn brown?
Yeah, Tabasco.
It'll turn a little brown when it's bad.
Yeah, it gets a little funky.
Probably speed is easier than all this Tabasco hunting, I think. Health problems, sleep disorders can put you at risk for heart disease, heart attack, heart failure. That's what everything causes. All this heart disease, heart attack, high blood pressure, stroke, diabetes. Like, what doesn't cause that anymore?
Well, it's a factor, but also sleep deprivation can. There's a lot of studies coming out these days that are saying that people who sleep less have it fucks with your metabolism, and it could help you gain weight.
Wait, I got
actually.
that one. Gain weight.
Yeah.
30% more likely to become obese.
Yeah.
Than the people who slept less than 6 hours a day. 30% more likely to become obese. Probably because they're spending all that sleeping time eating. Right?
It could be. It could actually.
Probably
there's
is.
something to that, Dick. I remember when I would only go on 3-4 hours a night in college. I did wake up and immediately would start eating again because that's my breakfast phase, right? But you just end up eating more because you're awake for more hours.
This says it's not something with the brain. Who cares? Death it can cause. Let's see. People who cut their sleep from 7 to 5 hours or fewer a night doubled their risk of death from all causes. Anything that could kill you, you double your risk of by not sleeping enough. So this can make you fat and dead and old and depressed and lowers your sex drive. I don't want to go through all these, but that's what it does. It's horrible.
Doesn't your body deal with the stress hormone cortisol when
Yeah.
you're asleep?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, and in sleep, when it's really important for you to have REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, where you're dreaming, because your brain regenerates, your brain rests. But this is coming from a guy who doesn't sleep very much. As soon as I'm up, I'm up. I kick the fuck out of bed. I kick my covers off, and I'm ready to tackle the day, man. I sleep. I'm you know what? I'm like a soldier. I just need a nap. You put me down for 20, 30 minutes at a time. Bam, I'm right back up, good to go. That's how
This thing also says that poor judgment, people who don't get enough sleep can't tell that the sleep deprivation is causing them to think poorly. I'm not joking. That's literally on the study.
No, I believe you.
If you ask people to judge their judgment when they've been sleep deprived, it just got anyway.
Dick, why would I assume you're joking? That's not
Because you had just said that you jump out of bed like a soldier, but
Yeah.
you're still massively sleep deprived and dangerous.
No, when I found that my so there's a study they did a while back.
No,
where
no, not me.
No.
Doesn't apply to me.
No, I'll tell
It
you what.
applies to mortals.
I still sleep the right amount. I sleep the amount that I need, but I don't do it in one sitting, in one big stretch. Because they did that study a while back, and where they took a bunch of people and they put them in a room with no windows and no way to tell what time of day it was. And they found that after a month, after like a couple of weeks, they all started to fall into the same sleep patterns, which is 4 hours at a time. Little 4-hour stretches. They'd sleep for 4 hours, wake up, work for a bit, go to sleep again, taking naps all throughout the day, and they were much more productive for doing that. I found that, having worked for myself for the last, 10... It's been 12 years now I've worked for myself. And I find myself naturally falling into that kind of sleep pattern where sometimes I'll be up at, 3, 4 in the morning, go to sleep again for a couple hours, wake up again, and then, sleep throughout the day, take naps. Naps are super important.
No.
Yeah.
This problem's putting me to sleep. What's yours?
Dick, I got a big problem for you this week. Twitter. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Twitter. Big problem.
Is it about millennials, would you say?
No, Twitter. Look, Dick, millennials use it, but millennials use everything. I see what you're saying. Okay, Twitter. The problem with Twitter is that it's basically IRC. Okay, so for
IRC was great.
I mentioned that. Yeah, I mentioned this a long time ago. Actually, a couple of episodes ago. IRC stands for Internet Relay Chat, and way back in the early days of the internet, before AOL Instant Messenger, and before MSN Messenger, and before Google Chat and Skype and FaceTime and all this other bullshit, IRC was the way that people chatted online. It was like pretty much the only way people chatted online. It was all text-based, and you joined a server, and on the server, you would chat with people. People would create nicknames and join chat rooms called channels, which were named using hashtags. So, for example, if you wanted to talk about sports, you joined the chat room #sports. Or if you wanted to talk about video games, it was #videogames. In fact, the very genesis of my website happened on IRC. I was in a chat room called #coders, where I spent a lot of time talking and collaborating with other programmers on demos and video games. That's when I started making these rants in there, and people in the chat room loved my rants. So I created a list of things that pissed me off, which was spread around the channel and later encouraged me to start my website. That was actually how my website began, is because I was just, ranting to these guys. So IRC, way back in the day, had a 510 character limit back when it started. Twitter, today, has a 140 character limit.
Yeah.
IRC allowed
Isn't that text-based?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that because of texting on your phone?
Yeah, it was because of texting. It's an archaic model. It's an archaic restriction. It's arbitrary at this point. IRC allowed you to direct message people. Twitter allows you to direct message people. Twitter is basically just IRC with a web interface. There's not much innovation to the product. It just made it easier for people to post. That's all it is. Twitter is just IRC on a web browser.
So it's something that was extremely useful made better.
It's not better.
But you're saying it has a web interface, and you could use it on your phone. I can't, text IRC.
Easier is not necessarily better. And on IRC it was much more organized, and you had a longer text limit. You had 510 characters as opposed to Twitter's 140, which makes it nearly impossible to have a real fucking conversation on Twitter.
Yeah, you gotta post on Facebook and then take a screenshot and then post the screenshot of what you said.
So there's all these goofy solutions people come up with. Like they'll start writing a sentence and then they'll get to the 140 character limit, which is not much, and then they'll put in parentheses 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 10, and then you have to read this. There was this article that went viral recently about a trial lawyer who had a rebuttal to something in the news, some stupid horseshit went down, and some trial lawyer had a rebuttal. Like, everyone has an open letter, everyone has a rebuttal to everything.
Sure.
And the article that went viral was headlined this, and I'm not even joking. It said, trial lawyer has 43 tweet response. It was the perfect 43 tweet response to this. Like, guys, are you out of your fucking minds?
Guys, we have a very short attention span. We can't read 43 tweets. Right?
Yeah, you know what 43 tweets is? It's a page or a paragraph.
Yeah.
Trial lawyer has a paragraph rebuttal. And why is the number of tweets matter? Why are we talking about tweets in this day and age? Why do tweets fucking matter?
I do like the arbitrary character limit.
Of course you do. Why?
Well, because it makes people get to the point, and it makes Twitter what it is.
Short emails.
Yeah, little pithy, exactly, short emails. I don't go on Facebook. Like, when I go on Facebook, that little... When their post gets too long and it says, like, the more, click here for more, I've probably clicked on that 2 or 3 times. Well, I don't care. If you can't get it out in the first sentence, I don't want to hear it.
I know, Dick. That's totally stupid.
But it's just social bullshit. Like,
no,
I don't go there to
not.
get news.
Well, you could. It could be, you could elevate the level of discourse.
But then it's a newspaper.
Look, yeah, that's exactly what we want, Dick.
But I
more
go somewhere
news,
else to
less
get that.
bullshit. Hold on. The problem with Twitter is, more often than not, if I have something important to say, and I can't say it in the 140 characters, guess what? I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it on Twitter. I don't give a shit. What Twitter has become is a repository for a bunch of comedians to write shitty jokes, and they're all 140 character long jokes, and 1 out of every 10 will be funny. Maybe 1 out of every 10.
That's pretty good odds.
No, it's not. That's 10%. That's shit.
Okay.
You hit 10% of the balls that are pitched towards you, guess what? You're fired. Get out of here. So Twitter's 140 character limit is also hampered by the hashtag system. Hashtags are essentially metadata. It's how you categorize tweets. If you're talking about the Oscars, you put in hashtag Oscars, so other people who are talking about the Oscars can also find your tweet.
Sure.
But that counts against your 140 character limit. So if you type in a word like hashtag Oscars or hashtag Oscars 2016, guess what? Suddenly you're down to 120 characters. What can you say in 120 characters? A sentence? What are you going to say that's informative or important in a sentence other than some stupid, shitty joke?
Oscars. I'm not watching these because I'm straight.
Great.
Is that one of the 9 out of 10 not funny jokes?
Yeah, that's one of the 9 out of 10, Dick, for sure. There's a ton of spam on Twitter, which seems easy and obvious to filter these days, but they don't do anything about it. If you look at any trending news story, you'll see the shitty clickbait spam at the top of the feed. In 2014, a research firm found that 44% of Twitter accounts have never sent a tweet.
So they got a lot of spam.
Yeah, these are just zombie accounts. They're drone accounts. And Twitter's in trouble right now. Their audience is shrinking even more than that. But that's, according to PC Mag, 44%. And according to the website 2P Charts, over 550 million accounts are reported to have sent their last tweet more than a year ago. Only 126 million of Twitter's user base had sent any tweet of any kind in the past 30 days.
Yeah, people probably went on to Instagram or maybe just Vine. I don't know. They've also been cracking down on conservative tweets. Did you hear that? They've been censoring conservative accounts. They unverified Milo Yiannopoulos, that dude.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They're dangling that verification as some kind of award or status symbol.
That's a fuck up, I think.
When any new social network comes along, I treat it like every other social network. I plug my ears and close my eyes and hope that it goes away. I just hope that it goes the fuck away like MySpace did. I didn't get on MySpace, thank God. It was stupid. I had an account and I only used it to creep on girls. So
you did what everyone else did on MySpace. Welcome to the human race.
Yeah. So anyway, with Twitter, when Twitter came along, someone created an account, a fake one for me, and got like 10,000 followers or something like that. And I looked at this guy's Twitter feed and saw that he was posting more or less the things that I would be posting. Links to my websites and articles and things like that. And I thought, you know what? He's doing an okay job. I'll let him keep it up. Kept it going for a while. Then eventually the day came when Twitter wasn't going away. And I think I talked to a publisher or something, and they said, you need to have your Twitter account going. I said, okay, fine. I created a Twitter account, and I wanted to take over this guy's Twitter feed because he already had 10,000 followers on there. I said, yeah, I'll just take over this guy's thing. Contacted Twitter. They said no. Well, first of all, you have to verify, and the verification process is a pain in the ass. You have to scan a driver's license, like 2 forms of ID. You have to fax it to them. You have to sign some affidavit or something. Like you get it notarized. You jump through all these fucking hoops. After all of that, I verified my account, right? So I should have gotten that little verification thing because the whole point of it is to prove to people that you are who you say you are. It's not a status symbol, you fucking idiots.
Well, but celebrities have it.
Yeah,
making it a status symbol. Like, do they give it to you if you've got 10 followers and you really want to prove that you're
there are people, Dick,
dong dickhead?
There are people who have 1,000 followers who have this verification thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there are people who have like 500 followers who have that verification thing. The point of the verification is that you are who you say you are. That's why celebrities get them, not because they're famous, but because people impersonate them often. So they're trying to communicate to their user base that, look, this is an authentic account.
Sure.
And since I clearly had people who were impersonating me, I needed one of those verification things. I went through the process. They decided not to give it to me. Fine. Fine.
Why?
Yeah.
Why didn't they give it to you?
I don't know. Didn't tell me.
What did they say?
Nothing. They just they said, okay, well,
we'll
said,
review it?
No, they said they were going to shut down that other guy's account.
Oh,
I couldn't take it
why?
over. Yeah, they just shut it down.
That sucks.
And then didn't give me the verification thing.
So everybody lost?
Yeah. Everybody, I jumped through all the hoops. But I think because there's something political going on. Like you said, Dick.
Well, this just started.
It's been going on for a long time.
No. The political thing.
No, it's been going on for a long time. Clearly, I'm an example of that. I think that someone at Twitter probably doesn't like me and didn't put the stamp of approval on this verification badge.
You didn't just miss an email? Is that possible? Is there an email chain?
No, it's possible. Yeah. It was basically one guy I was talking to, one guy who handles all these things, and it sounded like he didn't deal with a lot of it because this is such an arduous process to get your account verified.
It's weird that you wouldn't get an email on why they didn't do that after sending in a bunch of documents. Yeah. After taking all that time to scan 3 or 4 documents.
So, Dick, only 12% of the user base of Twitter right now is active. Actually, that's according to 2014. It's even lower now. 12% of a social network. Imagine if only 12% of the people on Facebook were active. That's insane.
We should be so lucky.
Yeah, right?
Twitter. Well, how much of Facebook is active? 50?
Facebook is much higher because Facebook does they're a little bit better about cracking down on drone accounts, on zombie accounts and things like that. Not perfect, but a little bit better. But there's no incentive for these companies to shut down zombie accounts. There's no incentive for them to shut down spammers because essentially, the end of the day, they go to their shareholders and they say, "Yeah, we have a user base of 900 million people, but they're not really being honest about how much of them are active. Most of them are not, on Twitter especially, because it's just a bunch of stupid fucking jokes that aren't funny.
Even active.
What?
The jokes that aren't funny.
12%, Dick.
No, I said that's active. Jokes that aren't funny.
What do you mean?
Comedians posting jokes that aren't funny. That's being active.
Dick, 12%. Right? But it's 12% of the user base. That's not active. That's a minority.
Oh, you're saying that the majority is not active on Twitter.
Yeah,
okay.
12%. Twitter also creates insular thinking, and it's the worst kind of filter bubble. People reaffirm their beliefs by blocking or muting people they disagree with, and Twitter has made it even worse by hiring a committee called the Trust and Safety Council. Did you hear about this?
No.
They are providing, quote, input on their products and programs. This is according to TechCrunch. They're hiring an external anti-bullying advocate to deal with trolls. And these are people, they're like far left authoritarians. These are far left. And that's why a lot of political opinions are being censored. That's why Milo Yiannopoulos, what's his last name?
I don't know.
He used to have a verified account, and then to punish him punitively, they took away his verified badge because his verification no longer means you're verified that you're an authentic person. You're not being impersonated. They took away his verification badge as a punitive measure.
He just got a bunch more attention from it, though.
Well, of course. But that's it's fucking awful, essentially. What they're doing is they're silencing dissent. They're silencing critics. Twitter just reaffirms your worldview. It's the worst kind of filter bubble. There's no way to get any kind of good news or information on Twitter. It's all garbage. And by the way, Twitter no longer allows you to see unfiltered trending results on your account. If you look at the trending results on your account, they're going to be trending based on what they think, according to their algorithm, that you would be interested in. So if you live in Chicago, you're going to see a lot of shit going on in Chicago, or Los Angeles, a lot of shit going on in Los Angeles. It's essentially shrinking your worldview. You no longer know what's going on in Thailand or Hong Kong or Brazil or even across the pond, even across the United States. You don't know what's going on in your own backyard.
So it's just like the news sites you click on.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, those keep feeding you stories.
Yeah.
Based on what they think you like.
Like what?
Just like Google.
Like, for example,
Google News.
Well, no, I think Google News is a better source because they show you news sites from all across the country.
No, they do, but they'll also put stories, at least on my phone, they'll definitely put stories on that they think that you'll like.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It definitely changes.
And it lets
then
you
if you clear
tell
your
it
history,
if you don't like it or not.
You're right, Sean, but at least Google News allows you to opt out of that feature. And I do opt out of it. I do opt out of Google News' suggested feeds and suggested stories and things like that because it essentially just creates an echo chamber of your own thinking.
That's right.
It's helping fuel this problem of filter bubbles.
Yeah.
Which is one of the biggest problems in the world today. You aren't even allowed to have critical thinking because you're not even being exposed to ideas that challenge you.
It's amazing.
And imagine if you don't even use Twitter. Then you're really fucked, right?
No, you're way better off, I think.
Oh,
Twitter.
You should
I think
boycott Twitter then. What do you think about that?
I'm not going to.
Oh.
I can't anymore.
You can't.
Twitter's
you're
too
addicted to money.
No, Twitter's too ubiquitous. Look, back in the day, before Facebook and social networking, there were other platforms to publish your ideas. Now, that's how people find you. You can't avoid it. What were you going to say, Sean?
Well, I was going to say a couple things. It's funny how, the internet has the ability to bring everybody in the world together, yet it seems to isolate us in certain things more.
Absolutely.
And then also, I work with a lot of veteran voice actors, and they all say the same thing. I fucking hate Twitter and Facebook and all the social media, but I have to be on it.
Yeah, you're right, Sean. I use it not because I want to, but because I need to. You can't really avoid it anymore. It's a platform that is too ubiquitous, and I'm pretty active on it. But here's the thing. Here's how I use Twitter. If I post a status update on Facebook, I'm a writer. I'm a New York Times bestselling.
Do you want to take that again? Because that sounded really pompous the way you said it.
I'm the world's best writer.
Okay.
I'm a New York Times bestselling author, the world's best writer, and I have sometimes a large vocabulary in the things that I'm writing. Not intentionally, but sometimes I use words that I feel like best express my ideas.
His brilliance just oozes out.
It spills the banks of English sometimes.
Yeah.
Like Shakespeare.
Yeah, I'm better than Shakespeare. So when I'm writing these status updates on Facebook, if I want to post that on Twitter, I'll copy and paste it and see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, well, either I won't post it or I have to go back and change some of my words to use smaller words.
It's like burning E. Cummings' poetry, you're talking about now.
It's dumbing down our language.
Yes.
Twitter is forcing us to use smaller words and a smaller vocabulary because of this arbitrary, stupid, archaic 140 character limitation. And Twitter itself has even acknowledged it now because they know the writing's on the walls. Twitter's audience is shrinking. They're scared. That's why they're tinkering with the algorithm. They're tinkering with this safety commission, the Safety Association of far left thinkers. They're tinkering with all these things, and they're even going to start to tinker with the character limitation on Twitter. They're saying that the new version of Twitter's coming with a 5,000 character limit.
Oh, they're never going to do that.
Well, they're saying they're working on it.
That's a good way to get headlines.
I mean, that's the reason I don't use Twitter. Is I just can't say what I'm trying to say. And sometimes...
Wouldn't you be for the 5,000 character limit then?
5,000? Yeah, I'm in favor of that.
Oh, okay. That's called Tumblr, though.
It's just... Look, I don't care what it is, if it's 1,000 or 5,000 or whatever. 5,000 is pretty significant. That's like a 2 or 3 page post. I don't even need that much. I just want to be able to say a sentence or two. One of the first tweets I ever sent on my Twitter account, and you can go back and look, is I sent a tweet that said, the problem with Twitter is that the 140 character limit doesn't allow you to get into the, and then that was it. Like, I couldn't even finish that sentence,
well,
that
what
thought.
was the point? Let's shrink it.
The point is that...
What was the point of that sentence, I mean? What were you going to... Oh, get into thought, period? That was it?
No, the 140 character limit doesn't allow you to have fully formed thoughts and ideas, and doesn't allow you to express yourself in a way that that allows other people to fully appreciate what you're trying to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can't even say things like that on Twitter.
Not enough words.
Not enough. There's just this arbitrary limit.
Hashtag not enough words.
A long time ago, Dick, essentially they're conflating metadata with information. A long time ago, I said it's kind of like having the ISBN number be part of a book's title. You don't need that. Anyway.
Those hashtags? I don't know. You really need that metadata thing with hashtags. It's just like a fun, stupid thing people throw out there.
You keep saying fun like it matters. It's irrelevant how fun something is.
Well, it's a social network. It's defined on how fun it is. If it's not fun to engage in, people won't use it. That's its only purpose.
But that's irrelevant to my point. My point is that metadata should not count towards your 140 character limit, because that's how people find your data. Like, for example, the length of the JavaScript code shouldn't count towards your character tweet either. You know, that's metadata. You don't need to have that information count towards your 140 character limit. And I'm not saying it's not fun. Like, you want to make the case that it's fun, that's completely subjective. Go ahead and do that. But that's irrelevant to what I'm saying. It shouldn't count towards that 140 character limit.
Okay.
You disagree with that?
I kind of don't care. Like, people use hashtags to just say, like, things they don't want to just put a word up there. Like, Oscars, I'm watching the Oscars, that's what I'm doing. I don't think everyone's not really using it for metadata. If you're talking about wanting to include hashtags, like an ISBN number, that seems like a stretch. I don't think that's what their intent is. I don't think that's how people use them.
No, that's how people use them. That's what it's there for.
For ISBN numbers, you think they're serial coding? When they say hashtag blessed, you think their purpose is to catalog their post in some kind of meta group?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
Positive thinking? It's just to tell people that they feel blessed.
Well,
that's why it's hashtag blessed.
It's also because you don't have enough characters to say, I feel blessed. You do hashtag blessed, but it also, people click on that. Twitter, as a platform, makes those links clickable so that you can see other people who are also saying those type of things. So if you want to see a lot of self-affirmation, a lot of positive thoughts and messages, you can click on that hashtag and see them categorized as such. I mean, look, I'm not saying that's always the case, Dick. You have a point, but for the most part, that's what hashtags are for.
I don't know. I don't have the data.
No, I mean, just look at the top trending tweets. You click on those as they're categories for what people are discussing. That's what it's there for. Just like in IRC, if you want to talk about sports, you join hashtag sports.
Well, vote it up. I don't know. It's Twitter, a big problem. I don't know what to tell you. It's like a social network. Like, I don't really think about Twitter.
Yeah. Okay.
I just go on to post shitty jokes.
Yeah, everyone does, and I'm tired of them. They're all shitty. All right, guys. My problems this week were bottled water and Twitter.
My problems are bumper stickers and, what was the other one? Sleep deprivation. Couldn't remember because I didn't get enough sleep.
There you go.
I got a bunch. Today's show is brought to you by Harry's. Please visit harrys.com and use the promo code BIGGESTPROBLEM to save $5 off your first purchase. Well,
Welcome to the biggest problem in the universe, the show where we discuss every problem in the universe, from rusty pliers to Holocaust deniers. With over 5 million downloads, this is the only show where you decide what should or shouldn't be on the big list of problems. I'm Maddox, with me is Dick.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Sean, our audio engineer, welcome back.
Hello.
You've never done Holocaust deniers before?
I don't think so.
Oh, man, that's a surprise. What restraint.
As a problem or as an intro?
As an intro.
As an intro? I don't think
Obviously,
so.
they're not
No.
a problem.
No. Making America.
Speaking
Make
of
America great
solutions,
again.
go check out our solutions episode on the webpage. You can buy it right now for $133.
It's fantastic.
It's a deal. It's
Yeah.
a steal of a deal.
It's a steal of a deal. You will not find a better bargain on our bonus episodes anywhere on the internet.
No matter what you're denying. No matter what. Well, that's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we should get to the problems from last week. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Tim
Tim, get the what the hell are you doing here, Tim?
Oh, let me just take a seat real fast.
Tim, what the fuck are you doing in my
Hey.
studio?
Tim Chains.
Tim Chains?
Tim Chains.
Chains.
Look, I dropped off Dick.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've been sitting in my car for 37 minutes and counting. And here I am.
Yeah.
Got myself into the biggest problem podcast.
This is just trespassing. This isn't some feat. It's breaking and entering.
Okay, if it's trespassing, why am I still here?
Get the fuck out.
well,
Go back to your cave.
Yeah.
Where you live.
Go back to the car. Go sit outside. Why don't you just leave? Oh, you're just a Lyft driver. Just go
I'm
find
not-
another customer.
I'm not just a Lyft driver. I'm supposed to be your homies. All right? Now, Madoff, you and I, we've been having some beef lately. And I feel like, look, it's time to settle the scoreboard. And we going one-on-one right now, okay?
What, problem to problem?
Prom
Is that-
to prom.
Is that your showdown call out? You're going problem to problem against Madoff?
Okay.
On
the
March
problem?
20th.
It's Maddox, shithead. What? What do you got? What do you want to say, Tim? What?
Look,
Well, he had all these ideas. I thought he should at least come in and. I mean, I didn't.
Dick, did you put him up to this?
No, I might have put an idea in his head. That
Okay.
he would be welcome.
Great. No, you're not. You're definitely not.
Everybody
100%
loves
not.
him.
Okay. Well, Tim, get away. I'm going to call, producer Randy. Why don't you call the police right now? We're going to have Tim escorted out by the end of
don't
this
call the
episode.
police.
The fuck out. You even have your sound drops prepared?
I have so many sound
A
drops.
DJ's always got to be prepared, like a Boy Scout, but with sound drops.
Great.
All right, look, all right. Now, first of all, I got to address the first thing that you've been calling me out on. You say I'm not a real DJ. Well, guess what? I've made drops in the past, in the past 12 hours, I've made drops to prove that I am a DJ.
Yeah, maybe you've dropped deuces.
No, I
Have
did
you?
not drop deuces. I only drop deuces after I eat food. Now,
What the fuck does that mean?
now I made a drop for all my homies,
Yeah.
and that includes you guys, including you, Madoff, you fucking traitor.
Okay, first of all, it's Maddox, shithead. You know what? Your new nickname is Tim Chumps. How about that, huh? Tim Chumps with 3 Z's,
Nah,
dickhead.
that's not as
yeah,
clever.
Tim Chumps.
That's not clever.
It's not as clever. It's more clever. Thank you, Dick. Thanks for getting my back.
Let's hear these drops. Let's
All
hear
right.
these drops so we can.
Yeah, what do you got? Can we move on with the show? What do
Yeah.
you got here, Tim
First
Chumps?
of all, Sean, a real audio engineer.
Uh-huh.
All right, someone who knows the struggle.
Yes.
Someone who fucks with radio teachers. He knows exactly what I went through. Sean, this is for you. I made you a drop.
Sean, audio engineer.
God damn, that shit was
That's
dope.
it? That's it? What the fuck? What, did you just put a reverb on your voice? I know your fucking shenanigans. That's shitty. And it was crackly too, right, Dick?
That sounded pretty cool.
Get out
That
of
was
here.
dope,
Pretty
man.
cool. That was dope.
Yeah.
I spent 3 hours on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was dopey.
Let's hear the next one.
All right, Dick, I got you, homie.
Oh, cool.
Dick Masterson.
Yeah, cool.
Great.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
That sounded
Hell
cool.
yeah.
So good.
Who was doing the yay? Was that you doing a little child's voice?
Google.com found some child's voice.
Great.
Put at the end of that shit. Man, that shit was
Okay.
dope. Man, listen to it one more time.
Dick Masterson.
That's so stupid.
I want to
Tim,
play it again to identify where your accent is coming from, Tim Chang.
Now,
So
Madoff.
dumb. Yeah, it's Maddox, shithead.
Madoff, I got you, homie, right here.
Oh, you got one for me? This better be great.
Madoff, you's a bitch.
You know what? Fuck you, Tim. Get out of my studio. Get out. I'm calling the police. Randy, call the police. This is bullshit. All right, guys, we're moving on with the show. The biggest problem in the universe from last week was sleep deprivation, followed by bottled water, and then Twitter. Twitter and bottled water were neck and neck, surprisingly. And then dead last was bumper stickers, still in the positive territory, but barely.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
I can't say I'm surprised.
You know, I can't either. I think that for once the idiots got the voting right. I think if I were going to rank these problems against each other, I would vote sleep deprivation at the top. Except I think that, and then bottled water, and then Twitter. Yeah, they got it right for once.
Some people called in about bottled water. You want to hear it?
Yeah, okay, great. Let's hear this.
Hey, I was just calling in to say that Maddox was right about switching over to tap water as opposed to bottled water. It's a great idea. And I'm not going to let my cognitive bias get in the way anymore.
Okay.
See, I'm from Flint, Michigan, and since I switched over, now I got fucking cancer, you retard. Thank you very much.
Idiot. First of all, it's not cancer you're getting from the water. I mean, maybe. We don't know yet. It hasn't been long enough. Definitely lead poisoning. There's a lot of shit in the water. Look, guys, I understand there are places in the world where the water is too contaminated to drink. I get it. Most of the U.S. is not those places, okay? Shitheads, most of Europe is not even those places. Yeah, oh yeah. Hey, Maddox, what if I go to Iraq? Yeah, then drink a bottle of water, shithead. Obviously. I'm not saying that bottled water has no use ever. You fucking idiots.
Okay, here's one for you. I wonder how you can discount this guy. Adam Hickey. Hey, Dick, just caught the podcast, and bottled water is a big problem. I like when they come out strongly in support in the first sentence, because that means they're going to flip it around.
Yeah.
However, it's absolutely a widely held opinion that in the industry, the water industry, that LA's municipal water is the worst in the country as far as customer taste and odor satisfaction. I work at a large water utility. So tell Maddox not all tap water is created equal. Remember I was saying that I could taste the difference between LA tap water out of my faucet and Arrowhead, and I prefer my Arrowhead bottle. Not an endorsement of Arrowhead in any way, but I prefer it.
That didn't sound like one.
Yeah.
Which is probably, in all likelihood, the same thing. Guys, you just get a filter. Get a water filter, put it on your sink, you're done. You don't have to worry about it. And those water filters actually filter out more shit than they do at the plants themselves. Okay. It's a really clean way to get water. You know how you can tell the purity of your water, is make ice with it and see how clear the ice is. If you use a filter, it's way more clear than just tap water itself, and way more clear than bottled water.
Sounds like a fun life hack. Tim, can you make a life hack drop?
No, Madoff does exactly what I do in my home.
Okay, chumps, you can't make any. What are you talking about?
What's exactly what you do at your home?
Look, I get a filter, I put it on my faucet, and then I got clean water.
Okay, bravo. I got a bit.
I got a lot more voicemails.
Oh, let's hear these voicemails.
Twitter is dumbing down language, Maddox. How about people who think deers is the plural of deer?
Yeah.
Are you sure you weren't homeschooled, you fucking idiot?
Okay.
I got a lot on that one, though.
Yeah, I know. I saw a billion comments about that.
You are a fucking idiot. It's deer, not deers, ever. Deer is plural and singular.
You said it twice.
I
don't even remember what the context was. When did I even say deer?
Take care, guys.
You were saying that you want to fuck a deers.
I didn't say that.
Two at a time, preferably.
No, when did I even say deer last episode? I don't remember.
I don't know.
You didn't say deer. You said deers.
Okay, fuck you, Tim. Fuck you, Tim. Get the fuck out.
You were talking about hitting deer with your car.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I hit deers with my car.
Yeah. You hit some deers.
Yeah, I hit deers with my car.
Yeah.
All right. What else you got? Let's hear this. Hear this parade of shitting on me.
Maybe the last one. This guy sent in a cool ringtone. Marshall Crosby. Hey, Dick, here's a ringtone I use to let everyone know that I'm a pretentious cock.
I know what this is. I bet I know what this is.
Here it is.
I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I'm a writer.
That's his ringtone.
I'm a writer. I'm a writer.
I feel this too, man.
I'm a writer. This is a great ringtone.
I'm a writer. Answer the fucking phone.
I'm just gonna let it ring. It's the scoff. The scoff that sells it.
That's my favorite ringtone I think I've ever heard.
I'm a writer. It's that. How do I have to even explain what it's like to be a writer in that single exhale?
You guys get it. You guys get it. I'm glad. I thought you guys were really slovenly, mouth breathing, slow pitted apes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got one more. This is some fan art from Dr. Smooth-Rod. It's pretty cool. Remember when we were talking about how you carry fake wallets?
Yeah.
And you should put fake money in those
Yeah.
wallets? Because you were saying you carry around when you go to
Sure.
places of ill repute like the Cantina Bar on Mos Eisley or wherever you're going on vacation. You carry around multiple decoy wallets in case you get mugged.
I have one on me.
Hitler had his doppelgangers.
Yeah,
Maddox has
Madoff has
his decoy
fake
wallets.
Okay, it's Maddox.
It's made off.
And you have real money in those wallets so that when the mugger takes your wallet and opens it, they don't think like this is a fucking decoy wallet. It's empty. Where's the money?
Yeah, it's
Right?
smart.
This is real. All right. I was in Paris. All right, several years ago.
You were in where?
Where?
I was in Paris.
Paris?
I was in Paris.
Paris. You're saying Paris, you pretentious fuck.
I'm saying Paris. All right, I know French.
Fake ass fucking DJ piece
You know
of shit.
French?
You don't know French?
I'm not a DJ.
Yeah, you're a sucker.
I'm not a DJ.
Uh-huh. You're an MC of
I'm
sucker.
not a DJ that you think I am. I'm the DJ that the world thinks I am.
Sean, audio engineer.
Shit, I played the wrong one.
Madoff, you's a bitch.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Oh, God. What the fuck is that?
That's a fart.
Did you add some sound effects to your Maddox drop since the last time since we sat down here?
That's why. That's how I'm a real DJ.
Yeah, you're a bullshit ass
What were you
DJ.
talking about, Paris?
Anyway, look, I was in Paris, and this is real. All right, I ain't bullshitting y'all. I carried fake money in my back pocket.
Tim, is that your fucking
Yes,
phone?
yeah, is that your
So I'm
fucking-
blowing-
put
my-
your phone
my
on Do
my
Not
phone's-
Disturb.
My,
Fucking asshole.
my phone's blowing up, man.
Yeah, but
Everyone's
put it
asking
on
me
Do
to
Not
join.
Disturb.
Yeah,
Do
it's
me
gonna
a
be up
favor.
your ass in just a second. You're gonna enjoy that vibration.
Look,
I don't care about Paris.
Bobby
Here's-
from Elsino wants me to DJ his kid's birthday.
Dr. Smooth-Rod sent you fake money to carry around in your fake wallet.
Oh, hey, that's fantastic. It's a $10,000 bill,
Yeah.
and it's me flipping you off. That's a fantastic looking bill.
And it says you just got fucked on it.
Yeah.
Great. So if the mugger opens up the wallet in front of you, you're murdered. Way to go. Okay. What else? Moving on.
Or that's legal tender in every country. We'll see.
Can people spend that at your store? Online?
Yeah.
Well, I have the only copy. So.
I'll take Maddox bucks. I'll do it. As long
right.
as long as I made it. Yeah,
Okay.
you can spend it in my store. All right, I have a
I'm done.
Okay, I have a bit. It's a fan favorite. We haven't played it for a long time.
Dick versus Dick.
Uh-huh.
Has it been a long time? Really?
It's been a long time. Yeah, we haven't had one for at least 5-10 episodes.
Feels like just yesterday.
It does feel like this yesterday.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. All right. So I didn't know whether or not to do this as a dick versus dick.
It's the preamble that kills me every time.
Yeah.
Go
I know.
ahead. Go ahead.
I didn't know whether to do it as dick versus dick or I liked it better when. I don't know. I was kind of confused, but I got this. This was a fan suggested this one.
Oh, great.
It's his name is Wizard Babylon. Wizard
Cool.
Babylon noticed this discrepancy. This is from way back when in episode 24. Listen to this. How do you reconcile that with your bullshit ass beliefs, Dick?
What beliefs? I believe in bicycles. I mean, they're a thing that exists.
Oh, okay.
I prefer walking
True.
Great.
at Burning Man.
Walking is for idiots and suckers.
All right, enough.
Okay, so you said you prefer walking.
At Burning Man.
Yeah, and then
fun.
back in
Really
episode.
take in the sights nice and slow.
Okay, you like walking, I get it. Then in episode 82, you said this.
You ready for my next problem? Walking. I'm proud of the fact that we did not think of walking. Walking is something that savage apes do.
Okay.
Walking is something that Disgusting. babies do. Walking is just basically
Yep.
falling down. I don't walk. Walking is for primitive people. That's embarrassing. I don't walk.
Sorry.
If you can't get there in a car, not worth seeing. Walking.
Not worth
Horrible.
saying.
You
It's
should
true.
be embarrassed walking, period.
Dick Masterson.
Yeah. What is the dick versus dick?
That you said you prefer walking as opposed to
Riding a bicycle.
Yeah, riding a bicycle. You prefer
Yeah.
walking, but then you just went on that tirade
It's still
where
disgusting.
Okay.
Tirade. It's still disgusting to walk. I prefer an art car.
Yeah.
But I'll walk over riding a bicycle.
Well, once you got to Burning Man though, then you didn't walk around. You rode a bike everywhere.
No, I prefer walking.
You
Again,
prefer,
as
but
I
then
said.
then why didn't you walk?
What do you mean, why didn't I walk?
At Burning Man. It's a very simple
I
question.
did.
Why didn't you walk at Burning Man? You didn't ride a bike at Burning Man?
I feel like it is a simple question, but the I did response is somehow eluding you.
You didn't ride a bike at Burning Man.
Of course I rode a bike until I
Then
got
you're
stolen.
full of shit. That's the point.
How is that full of shit? To have a preference. I prefer steak over salad, but I've eaten a salad.
Okay. Well, if you have the choice, which you always do.
I'm sure you prefer wearing shirts with your face on them, but you're not currently wearing one.
I do prefer that. That's true.
I walked to Burning Man.
You walked all the way to Burning Man?
I walked to Burning Man from Huntington Beach.
Okay.
He was trying to show up to the one in like 2002.
Yeah, where was the Burning Man that you went to?
2007.
But where?
To Burning Man.
Yeah, where is it?
Man, somewhere in California.
Okay. Tim, you don't know shit about DJing, geography, or etiquette. Yeah. So annoying. That's the worst. All right, guys.
Well, you got
Let's
me.
get to the problem.
Another successful dick versus dick. You caught me walking and riding my bike at Burning Man.
Well, I don't know. I don't know which one it was. I don't know which one.
It was all of the above.
Okay, guys, let's get to the problem.
I flew there, too. That was awesome.
Great. Were your wings tired?
No, I was in a plane.
It's arms.
Yeah, yeah.
The joke is arms.
Thanks, Sean. All right, guys.
Audio engineer.
All right, what's your problem?
Right, guys, let's get to the
Is
problems.
it simple puns?
Come on, Madoff.
All right, guys, let's get to the problems. I got the real biggest problem in the universe this week. It's attention deficit disorder diagnosis.
Oh, man. I know all about that, man.
No, you don't.
I think you do.
I think I do, too.
Yeah, I think you do.
I think that after spending several years in community college, I think I know a little bit about ADHD.
Yeah, what does the last HD stand for, Tim?
High definition. Yeah. What else?
Okay, great. Okay, guys, gentlemen, imagine living in a world where you'd go to a doctor's office for a checkup. He could check out your vitals, do some blood tests, and then determine that you have a deficit attention. Because that's exactly the crazy world we're living in today. ADD stands for attention deficit disorder, and about 9% of children born in the U.S. supposedly have it, right? Yeah. Supposedly. The other name for ADD is ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, plus high definition if you're dumbass Tim Chang's over here, Tim Chumps. That's 28 million people who supposedly have ADD. 28 million people are just born with this supposed disorder. You're just born broken,
man.
Yeah. Can't pay attention. Big problem, right?
What's everybody thinking about right now? Can we get an around the horn on that? Is anyone thinking about ADHD? I mean, as an example of ADHD?
I mean, I think Madoff has it real bad.
Yeah. Well, I don't because I'm moving right on. Think about
good point.
Think about what attention deficit actually means. To say that you can have a deficit of attention suggests that you have a finite supply of it, right? And that there's some fixed amount of attention that is just right to have. That means it's not only possible to run out of attention, but it's also possible to have an overabundance of it. And yet there's no such thing as attention overabundance disorder, at least until a drug maker can market a drug for this as of yet pending epidemic.
Isn't that OCD?
What?
Too much attention? Like, I got to turn this, I'm really into turning this light switch on and off.
Sure.
100 times.
Why not? Let's just call it attention overabundance disorder.
Yeah.
No, that's a pattern of something that you do. It's not necessarily that you're paying too much attention.
I'm just making a joke. Yeah.
People who claim to have ADD take their illness very seriously, blaming everything from poor test scores to failed relationships on this disorder. By the way, that was all from the Alphabet of Manliness.
That entire clip you just read?
Yeah. I had to read, I had to cite my source. Really good book.
So do you not think that ADHD exists?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
No, I
don't. You don't think it exists in anyone?
No, and the people who claim to have it, I've talked to people who have claimed to have severe ADHD or ADD, and they said that they started taking Prozac or Ritalin or whatever the drugs are that are supposed to help it.
Well, it's usually some sort of an upper.
Yeah.
It's usually some kind of an amphetamine or dextroamphetamine.
Right.
Because everybody does focus better on that.
Well,
That's why
sure.
it's so prevalent in college.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
It turns your mind into a laser.
Yeah, I've tried it before, and it did improve my focus. However, I don't know if the drug is curing something or addressing a disorder.
Well, I think it's supposed to address it.
Yeah, but how can you tell if the drug is addressing some underlying disorder or whether or not you're just focusing better because the drug is working at focusing?
Well, isn't the end result good either way?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes, but not necessarily, Sean. And I'll get to that. I'll get to why in just a second.
Let me just, not to derail the conversation, but I know it gets diagnosed more and more frequently.
Right.
Do you think that's a thing with the drug companies, or do you think that we're just now, or doctors or modern medicine is just now learning to recognize things?
I'm getting to all of that. This is all coming. Yeah, those are all good
sure
questions,
it will.
good points.
Crack open the alphabet of manliness. And
Go to the appendix.
Yeah, I got more. Roughly 5% of adults claim to have it. That's a combined 48 million people, counting kids, in the U.S. who are just born with this disorder. That's an epidemic, right? 48 million people are just born with this broken disorder.
As disorders come, do you think that's too high?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 48 million. Just 48 million people are born. Imagine if 48 million people were born without limbs. That's a huge disorder. That's like nature fucking up.
Yeah, but this is defined by not being able to pay attention, right? Like
Yeah.
your wandering thoughts and stuff like that. I'm
Right.
surprised it's not more. Like it's hard to pay attention.
Well,
Yeah, it's true.
the reason I brought in attention deficit disorder diagnosis and not ADD is because it's likely a bullshit diagnosis. First of all, for some reason, it's one of those wily diseases that seems to affect whites and blacks more than Asians. How's that the case? Roughly 9.6% of whites and 10.5% of blacks have it, so roughly equal. And then, miraculously, it only affects about 1.4% of Asians. Why do Asians have less affliction of ADD?
Well, let's ask our black DJ, Tim Changs, why that might be.
Why do you think Tim chumps?
Look, all right. I can't speak for all the other brothers and sisters out there that are Asians. all
Okay,
right?
you're not black.
I can't
You're not black. You're Asian.
I can't speak for all the Asian brothers and sisters.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
racist of you for assuming he was
Yeah.
talking about black people.
Yeah, well, I think Tim, first of all, can we just confirm that you do not think you're black?
I can confirm that I'm.
Okay, that's exactly what I thought you would answer.
Look,
Great.
when I'm thinking about my dreams, when I'm thinking about my goals, I got focus. If I'm not thinking about my dreams and my goals, then I'm not focused. That applies to everything in the world. So when you got a dude who his whole goal and his dream, right, is to go out there and make the best possible pasta out there, what does he think?
Okay. So glad
What is
we
he
went down
thinking
this.
about? He's
So,
thinking
yeah.
about pasta.
Brilliant.
He's thinking. Is he not thinking about pasta?
So glad we asked
if your
Tim
looks
Changs.
matched your voice, you would get laid every day.
Yeah. Tim Chums, so glad we answered that question of why it only affects
Yeah.
1.4% of Asians. Thank you, Tim.
Asians are good at taking tests, though. They got like that hyper focus, right? That's in their culture, is hyper focus on everything since when they're kids.
You think
Is
it
that a
starts in childhood?
stereotype, or is that what?
No, that's
you think
not.
it's, you think it's a parental thing that says you've got to focus, you've got to be good at this, you've got to, and it keeps that shit from happening?
You may be right, Sean and Dick. You may be hitting on
Sure.
something here. Diagnosis often comes from parents rather than doctors. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Parents often just determine on their own whether or not you have ADD. According to ADHDawarenessmonth.org, parent-reported ADHD rates increased by 22% in 2007. Just suddenly, one year, parents, like 22% increase.
Well, good thing they forgot about it the next month.
No, it's not Alzheimer's, Sean.
I know.
Shithead. Yeah. How do you like it, Dick? You misspoke. I misspoke. How do you like it when you misspeak?
Well,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because you don't have a crazy complex about being right all the time, right?
That's right.
So parents are self-reporting their kids' ADHD.
Yeah, 22% higher in 2007, resulting in a 7.2% of all school-aged children being diagnosed. These are parents just looking at their kids and seeing that they act a little hyper because most kids stay indoors and fuck around with tablets and video games all day rather than playing outside.
Especially boys.
So they burn off their energy by acting out, and their parents just look at them and shrug, and they just determine by themselves that these kids have ADD. Then they drug the kids and teach the kids to be victims for the rest of their lives. I can't count the number of times some kid I grew up with in school used ADD as an excuse for failure and underperforming. ADD is a psychological disorder, all right, but one that has to do with their parents.
Yeah.
I remember growing up, I had a kid in my first grade class who failed a test, and he said, "Yeah, I can't pass tests because I have ADD." And that's the first time I heard this phenomenon. And I thought, well, what the fuck is it? He goes, "Oh, it's attention deficit disorder." And even as a first grader, I knew that this was bullshit.
Yeah.
I think you're right about a lot of that, and I think the parents want a built-in excuse for it's like, oh, no, he's very, very smart. He just can't take tests because of his ADHD. It's like, well, maybe you didn't really make him buckle down like you ought to have.
Well, maybe school sucks also. Like, fuck these dumb tests. Let's,
okay,
get 'em outside.
anti-intellectualism. Vote up anti-intellectualism.
Like, you need to learn spelling anymore. Like, that's a real thing. Like, how many times do you need to learn the participles of speech? Never. No, you don't need to learn it every other year because they teach kids the same shit because they don't carry it over the next year. It's a big fucking waste of time. How many hours of school did Benjamin Franklin have? Like, what, 3 a day, 2 a day? Now kids that are growing up to work at McDonald's need 8, 9, 10 hours of school every day. Seems like you could invent electricity on 3 a day. You could probably work in the service industry on like an hour of school a day. But then where would all the government subsidized babysitting go? Go ahead.
Yeah.
I have a big fucking problem with school.
I don't know,
government
man.
subsidized babysitting. Yeah, Ben Franklin didn't invent electricity, Dick. Maybe you go to school to realize that he discovered it rather than inventing it. Maybe you go to school to learn grammar and spelling so that you don't sound like a road rage on a podcast. Maybe those things matter so you sound eloquent and you can express yourself and convey your thoughts succinctly. And what, Sean?
And make sure you don't
Abby.
say deers. Exactly, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
So what?
Madoff, you motherfucker.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a difference between misspeaking every now and then and completely denouncing the education system as worthless. You went to Caltech, so why did you go to Caltech if you didn't see any value in school?
Did you not hear anything I just said?
You went to Caltech, so why did you go to school if you didn't see any value in it? They weren't babysitting you. You paid tuition for that.
Caltech has a really underrated improv program. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
All right. So again, ADD is one of those things that you just self-diagnose. Parents self-diagnose, and pharmaceutical companies constantly encourage people to take the test. I have the test with me, and I want everyone here to take it. Okay, guys, it's just 6 questions.
And if you do none of them, you fail. Right? Then you have ADHD.
No, if you don't... Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Jokes.
Okay, question number 1, guys. Everyone, I want you to pay attention. All right, see if we can get through this. How often do you have trouble wrapping up the final details of a project once the challenging parts have been done? The answers are never, rarely, sometimes, often, or very often. Tim?
Often.
Okay, Tim.
Never.
You never have a problem wrapping up projects.
Nope.
I'd say almost never.
Oh, wait. Oh,
too late.
Never.
Too late,
No,
Tim Chomsky.
never.
Too late.
No,
You
never.
look like a dick. You're the weird one.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Idiot. Often. Too late. How often do you have difficulty getting things in order when you have to do a task that requires organization?
Never.
You never have problems getting things in order?
No.
Tim?
I got my shit together. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna put down Tim's very often.
What? You can't do that.
You getting your shit down. I don't know what that means, Tim. I don't speak your.
I know Sean's
I mean-
never.
Yeah,
Shows
never.
up every week with all his stuff to put together.
Okay. You know, I'll just ask this last one here. How often do you guys feel overly active and compelled to do things like you were driven by a motor? This is one of the questions.
Always.
You always feel okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Dick.
Oh, I have ADHD.
You may have ADHD because you're driven and you're compelled to do things. Sean, how often do you feel driven and compelled to do things like you had a motor inside you?
Sometimes, if I think it's important, I'm driven. If I
Yeah.
don't, I'm not.
Harvest season.
Put that in your answers.
Right.
Tim, I'm gonna guess it's
Now
never.
look, all right, look, we're all gonna say obviously we're gonna say always, right? Look, if you're driven by something, you're gonna keep doing it. That's part of life. If you are driven, you're gonna keep. How do you have ADHD if you're driven?
Tim, I can imagine everything you're saying being quoted on a really shitty motivational poster, one that's tattered and hung crookedly.
That's great. I like that.
With a
I
retarded
don't mind
cat
having
hanging from the
that.
branch.
Posters are if you can make a motivational post out of things I'm say, I appreciate that.
And just like an irrelevant photo too, like of sunflowers or like a poppy seed bagel.
Okay, sunflowers are dope as fuck. Come on, man.
What is the big ADHD drug? It's not Ritalin. What is the new one?
It's there's Adderall.
Adderall. I've been
Adderall,
trying to
yeah.
think of it since we started
Then there's
talking about
another
this.
one called I want to say
Strattera.
No, well, there's another one. I think the drug is Monafidil. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
but
that's the new
it's
one,
sort of-
yeah.
It's sort of like a speed, but without all the jitteriness and stuff like that.
Man, here's a dick tip for you. Take an Adderall and hit up a strip club. And your mental focus and your gamesmanship will go up entire leagues. You'll be playing in the big leagues, no matter where you were. It's like a drug for focusing your chi. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, try it, Tim Changs.
I like that, man.
Tim Chomps.
I've
yeah,
never
you
been to
can
a strip
focus
club before, surprisingly.
more. Yeah.
Really?
It's not surprising. It's not
Why not?
surprising.
I've never been to a strip club.
Why
You're
not?
19 because you look
surprising.
like you're 19.
No, I'm
Why haven't you been to a strip club?
57 at heart. All right?
Yeah.
I got an old spirit.
Yeah, you got an old dong. Doesn't work anymore.
That's
You
not
gotta-
what Tammy
you gotta-
said.
You got a bum pecker.
How are things going with Tammy? Did she hear the last podcast?
She heard the last podcast. She wanted me back.
Oh, that's
tried-
good.
We tried to meet. We met up at the Panini Cafe.
What is that because you were trying to tell her stories about going to Paris?
Well, yeah, I was telling about my stories in Patty, man.
Fucking fraud.
But Tammy, she ordered some lamb. I ordered chicken. We got that basmati
That's not
rice.
important. What
Yeah.
happened with the reunion?
Well, we was out there.
What do her boobs feel like, Tim?
I mean, they crusty,
Okay.
Like a baguette.
I mean, like a baguette, like a bunch of crumpled chips.
Do boys get diagnosed with ADHD more than girls do?
Slightly
'Cause
more.
It seems like
they
it
do.
seems like the whole system is set up to fuck boys over.
They
when they're
do,
little.
but guys, you know what? It may be a real disorder because here's how I know it's a real disorder. When commercials reassure me that the disorder is real, even though cancer treatment commercials never start out with "cancer is real" and HIV prevention commercials never start out with "AIDS is real." But when it comes to ADD, for some reason, they have to convince you it's real. Listen to this commercial. I found this commercial online. It's like from a small market. Listen to this.
Adult Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's not just a problem affecting our youth. It's a real medical condition that can afflict anyone of any age, and it can be treated.
Even if you're 57
Cornerstone
at
can help
heart.
you and your family
feel that,
deal
man.
with this condition.
You feeling that music, Tim Chang?
Man, I'm playing the piano right now, dude.
Well, it's tough. People are very busy with their lives. They got to medicate their kids in line.
You
know?
got to medicate. Katie Couric did an episode on ADD and brought in some supposed health expert. He was some Harvard doctor. I thought, oh wow, this is cool. He's she's got a real doctor in here, and of course he's hawking some book about ADD.
Sure.
Of course, and then she has this really weepy segment talking about people who suffer from ADD. Listen to this. It's Katie Couric
Do
show.
you sometimes feel overwhelmed, like life is moving too fast and you simply can't keep up? Do you get distracted easily and have trouble focusing? For some, this is just everyday manageable stress, but for others, it can signal much more.
ADHD has affected my relationship with my children in many ways, mainly because I'm always late.
I feel like over the years I've let people down whenever they relied on me for something and I forgot. And it seems careless, but it wasn't.
Well,
Damn, man.
kind of was.
That's sad,
Like
man.
I do empathize with people because the mind is a complex thing. No doubt some people have more trouble concentrating than others, and if they can concentrate better with some of these drugs, that's great. I definitely support that because drugs are working for me, and if they're working for you, keep doing it. But it's bad to see it in kids because drugs when you're that young kind of fucks up your brain patterns for life. Especially when it's just kids being rambunctious, maybe a lot of the time. And we're not gonna know what happened for the next 40 years, right? Just like lead poisoning, right? I'll bring it in eventually, but you're not gonna know the effect of the drugs you're pumping into these kids for 30, 40 years down the line when they start having their own kids and fucking them up in the same way.
Well, actually, we know that effect now. And Sean, to go back to that point you mentioned earlier, are there side effects of these drugs? There are. This article just came out in the Telegraph. It's called, the title of the article is ADHD is vastly overdiagnosed and many children are just immature, say scientists. From this article, it says prescriptions for drugs like Ritalin have doubled to 922,000 a year in the last decade for children diagnosed with ADHD, but such medications can cause severe adverse reactions such as weight loss, liver toxicity, and suicidal thoughts, and in the short term may suppress pubertal growth.
Ooh, smaller boobs?
Smaller everything.
Whoa! Get rid of them.
Yeah, some of the
illegal.
I know I've read some of the antidepressants are not approved for kids where they were, or teenagers where they used to be because your brain is not finished cooking yet.
So moving on though, the problem ADD may just be a cultural phenomenon. To go back to what you guys were saying, Dick and Sean, you guys mentioned it earlier. According to the article, Why French Kids Don't Have ADHD, published in Psychology Today, French child psychiatrists, on the other hand, view ADHD as a medical condition that has psychosocial and situational causes. Instead of treating children's focusing and behavioral problems with drugs, French doctors preferred to look at the underlying issue that is causing the child's distress, not in the child's brain, but in the child's social context. They then choose to treat the underlying social context problem with psychotherapy or family counseling. This is a very different way of seeing things from the American tendency to attribute all symptoms to biological dysfunction, such as a chemical imbalance in the child's brain. So the French don't use the DSM.
No,
they
don't. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Figure out possibly what's causing it, and then whether you need to medicate or not, as opposed to just ripping off prescriptions. And
right. Absolutely.
Putting a Band-Aid on the problem.
Yeah, the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, is what they use in psychological circles in the U.S., but instead in France they use the CFT-MEA, which is something in French, which you should know that, Tim.
I've seen this happen all the time in Petty, man.
You've never fucking been there, dude.
You know, these kids, man, like, they don't use that shit, man. Like,
I think you went to Panini Cafe and you thought that was France.
No, Panini Cafe, that Mediterranean shit, dude. Come on.
Oh, is it?
Come on, dude. I know my shit, homie.
Name 3 cities in France.
Man, Patty.
Yeah?
Man, Francois.
He doesn't know them. You could say whatever you want.
Yeah, I do. I've been to France a bunch of times.
Yeah, man, you know me, man. You know about the city of Francois.
What's the airport you fly into in Paris?
La Goula Airport.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
The Goulet Airport. Named after French Prime Minister Robert Goulet.
You know,
famous airport.
I landed it, man. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anyway.
What's the solution to this? Make kids run laps. Got to get those kids out there running laps till they fall asleep.
No, the solution is in France, what they do is I try to identify and address the underlying psychosocial issues causing children's symptoms, not on finding the best pharmacological band-aids to which masks the symptoms. And this is the final thing I want to say.
Psychiatrists drumming up sales. That's what that is.
Well,
all of them.
No, but it works. It works more than drugs. Like getting these kids hooked on drugs for the rest of their lives that may stunt their growth. Are you kidding me? That's a better solution?
No, running laps. That's the solution.
Okay.
Better than going to some shrink and talking for the rest of your life. Better than drugs. There's plenty of fun drugs. You experiment with drugs when you're an adult. It's not going to fry your brain up.
So from that Telegraph article, they continue. They say, now a study of nearly 400,000 children between 4 and 17 years old in Taiwan has shown that the percentage of youngsters diagnosed with ADHD significantly changes depending on month of birth. Okay? Listen to that again. I'm going to repeat that. The amount of diagnosis of ADHD changes depending on which month you're born in. How is that at all consistent with this alleged diagnosis?
What do you mean?
Can you guys make any sense of this?
Yeah, because you're younger in school, so you're more hyperactive, or you're older, and so you're bored. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually right. It's so these kids, there were just 2.8% of boys born in September have the condition, and the figure jumps to 4.5% in August, rising steadily over the school year. So they looked at some analysis and figured out why the diagnosis rate was so much higher in different months. And it turns out the authors say that in many cases it may be caused by teachers comparing the behavior of more mature children to those of youngsters who are up to a year younger.
Sure. Or boys and girls. Why the fuck are they in the same class? They learn in totally different ways. How do you have a teaching curriculum designed to teach boys and girls the same thing at the same age? It's stupid.
I think there's some overlap, and that may be another, another interesting to look at. But that's so telling right there.